Welcome to today's webinar session about next level building operations. One short comment first. Welcome to today's webinar session about next level building operations. One first short comment. If you have a question or whatever, please put it on the top right side into the chat or question function so we can answer it at the end of our today's session. Now, let me first introduce today's host to you. I'm Eva Forster. I work as a lead pre-sales engineer at Locatee. And in my daily job, I'm helping identifying and understanding key insights you can do with the data that Locatee provides to you. So in the end, I help customer making meaningful changes, meaningful decisions, and create a lot of impact based by our data. Locatee is deployed in over 60 countries on 6 continents, and we have covering over 750 buildings globally. But before we deep dive into the topic of today, we first quickly go and have a look at how Locatee exactly works. Locatee turns devices into virtual sensors. Locatee's assumption is that whenever someone is occupying a workspace, a collaboration seat, whatever something in your building, the person is using a mobile device. With that mobile device, a connection to the local network is created. By leveraging that information of connections of mobile devices, we can deliver you in the end occupancy information and utilization information on your building, floor, and zone level. So this means you already have all that occupancy and utilization information in your building. It's in your network. It just needs to become visible and then can create additional value. We are doing, as I already mentioned, leveraging the existing information, processing, anonymizing that data aggregated, and in the end, we're visualizing the data in our dashboards. In today's session, we will also have a short look at the dashboards itself, how the data looks there, and really can lever that information. First, let's quickly have a look at all use cases we're covering. Locatee's key use cases are focused on the portfolio strategy. There, we talk about consolidation of right-sizing, under and overutilization of different areas. Additionally, we have the use cases of workplace operations. On those use cases, we will focus today. We have there, for example, smart cleaning, smart HVAC, smart catering, and so on. These use cases are often levered through a third-party company and supporter that then makes useful insights out of our data. Additionally, we're also covering workplace planning use cases, like user behavior, understanding of mobility patterns, and so on. The two pillars of portfolio strategy and workplace planning will be covered in an additional session in the next 2 months. So stay tuned for those use cases as well. Today, we focus on the workplace operations and how you can start making smart decisions on your daily building operations. The agenda for today is the following. We start with an introduction into the smart building operations, then have a look at smart cleaning, smart HVAC, smart catering, and we'll go through the questions at the end of the session. In a Verdantix survey from last year, over 48% said that their highest priority is to get more value out of their facilities contractors. 42% want to maximize the insights they can have based on their building data. The companies want to become more proactive on the maintenance topics and additionally identifying new ways for cost cutting and savings so that in the end, the building itself can provide more. If we have a look at the CRE hierarchy of needs, we see the three different pillars. We have the core needs, we have the space needs, and we have the productivity needs. Really below, you can see the base building operational efficiency. Today's use cases will focus on the base building operational efficiency. With the use cases you can additionally do and the value you get out of it, you can increase the operational efficiency of your buildings and your portfolio. What is impacted by smart building operations? It increases the energy efficiency, the cleaning efficiency. It has a positive impact on the ESG compliance. It creates a better green building rating and increases the building operations performance. You can see attached here on the chat a handout. In this white paper, you can find much more detailed information about building operation and maintenance. You will also find again the wheel you can see here on the right-hand side. We are currently focusing on the marked parts. Please download the file. It will also be shared after the webinar, where you then can find all the insights and can read it in a silent moment with whatever you additionally want to know. We start now with the first use case, with smart cleaning. With smart cleaning, you can reduce your cost by 20%. Together with FNW and Zuber, we did the following. You have the possibility with cleaning, and especially with smart cleaning, to optimize two different aspects of the cleaning use case. On one hand, you can optimize your cleaning schedule to the days where your building is usually occupied. Additionally, you have the possibility to make day-by-day decisions on which building, floor, and areas needs to be cleaned based on the daily usage. Let's go now into the product to quickly show you how it is done together with our product. We are in the Locatee environment, and we will now pick one particular building where we have a closer look at. We are in Germany, pick the building East. Today, we're mainly interested in starting to analyze how it is used. We are interested in the second floor. To understand the potential of the cleaning schedule, we can open the weekly pattern. If we now have a closer look at this weekly pattern, we see that we have higher occupancies on Tuesdays and on Fridays. Mondays, Wednesdays, and Thursdays are a bit less occupied. Currently, the building is cleaned on Tuesday and Thursday. By now analyzing this weekly pattern, we see the potential to shift the cleaning from Thursday to the more occupied Friday. By doing that, we will have per cleaning shift one more occupied day. So we have the high occupied Tuesday and afterwards we clean, and we have the high occupied Friday and afterwards we clean. How is it exactly done if we want to improve our daily cleaning part? The daily cleaning part is an example of FHNW levered through Suber. Suber is gathering the live utilization data of Locatee, is aggregating that data during the day, and is then based on that data making the cleaning schedules and cleaning routes for that particular day. By that, rooms or zones that were not occupied will not be cleaned. So overall, the benefits you can have together with that use case: you only clean areas where you have occupancy. You can adapt your cleaning schedule in general based on the trends and on the pattern, how it is used. And additionally, you can adapt your daily operations based on the daily usage and daily areas. So thereby, you can minimize the inefficient use of resources and can, in the end, reduce the overall cleaning time. Our second use case, HVAC. With smart HVAC, you have the potential to reduce your costs up to 45%. Here we have a use case together with PostFinance and Meteoviva. HVAC in general is a slow system. It takes a long time if you switch on the heating or the cooling machine until you really see the results. Therefore, it makes a lot of sense to leverage additional information sources to optimize it as good as possible. What we are doing here together with Meteoviva is using the utilization patterns to analyze the trends, and then those information and data sources are leveraged together with meteorological data, with data when exactly the building is occupied and when not, and then together the heating and the cooling can be planned. If we have a look at our product, we are mainly interested in seeing how exactly the building itself is evolving. If we now have a look here at the building itself, so at the whole building overview, we can see that our building East has an overall decreasing trend. So thereby we can understand that the building is less and less used over time. With knowing that information and combining that information together with the meteorological and also some seasonal information, the HVAC in winter now here, the heating can be optimized over time and less areas need to be heated. What are the benefits out of it? The benefits out of it are we can increase the employee well-being that is available indoor. We have a high impact on the environment and on the sustainability factors. And we can create demand-driven building operations that results in cost saving by just heating the areas that are relevant and by heating the areas that are mainly used. Our third use case, smart catering. Smart catering can create shutting down unused coffee areas and monitoring the canteen flow. How is smart catering done? By analyzing the daily life utilization of your building at a particular time, you can leverage information together with some knowledge of the past to only create as many meals that are necessary for that particular day. You then have the possibility to only cook as much as is needed. If we have a look at our product, it looks the following way. We now jump from our building up on the live view. We can see here, let's assume it's 8 in the morning or 9 in the morning, it's maybe a bit more realistic. So around 9 in the morning, we have different live utilizations per floor. Our third floor has currently around 39% of utilization. Yesterday, that floor had at the same time around 60% utilization as we see it on the fourth floor. By just knowing that, we have the possibility to assume that around a third less people will show up in the cafeteria as they did yesterday. Therefore, less meals are used and need to be prepared. One additional use case in direction of smart cleaning was done by Zurich Insurance during the first COVID wave. When we had really strict restrictions of how many people are allowed in the cafeteria and on certain square meters, Zurich checked out in the morning of how many employees they're having in the building. And then by knowing that information on a floor level, it was decided which floors are allowed when to enter the cafeteria. Therefore, it was possible to monitor and to steer the canteen flow of people entering there and having lunch together and enjoy a nice meal. The benefits you can get out of leveraging occupancy and utilization information for your canteen is you can manage footfall, you can therefore avoid overcrowding, you can reduce food waste, and you have the possibility to only create as many meals that are required for the many people you have in the building. We are now at the end of all the 3 use cases, and I'm happy to answer all your questions you may have. The question is, who needs to be involved to set up smart building operations? On one hand, at Locatee side, we need to involve in the end the account team. So if you're already a customer of Locatee, it's the account team and then the product owner, project owner. And then on the other hand, at your side, if you decide to go with a third-party provider, we additionally lever through that third-party provider. So also the third-party provider needs to be involved in all the discussions and in all the technical requirements that needs to be laid out. It seems like it's quite a technical integration. The integration itself is quite straightforward. Locatee offers an open API, and therefore it's easy possible to get everything out that is required. So from your end, as a client, it's on one hand the product owner, project manager, and for certain technical specifications. So for example, as in the end, also getting access to your, if we go with the example of smart HVAC, to your building operations, we of course need to also include that team and of course the third-party company that will provide additional insights. Another question is, how do I start integrating data in building operations? First, you need to have data. Whatever data you then have, you can start to think of what is the first and main use case and what value do you want to get out of it. By having this defined and figuring this out, the next step is then to discuss what data is actually required. If we go with the example of smart cleaning, it's a decision if it's focusing on optimizing the cleaning schedule, then therefore the data that needs to be done and needs to be available is to understand the patterns of the usage. If it's another use case, other data might be required, so therefore also that needs to be outlined. First start is you need to have data, then you need to decide what is your primary use case and what exactly is the question you want to solve and what's the value you want to get out of it. And then by knowing that, we together can decide on the path we go and how to integrate the system in the end. Another question, what are some of the common challenges with smart building integration? We went already through a couple of them. Some common challenges are in the end to really decide what is exactly the use case and the value out of it. So for example, if we go with the case of smart cleaning, it's a question, do you want to optimize the weekly cleaning schedule? Do you want to optimize the daily cleaning routine? Normally, we suggest to go with a two-step approach, to first go with optimizing the cleaning schedule in general, and then in a second step, to optimize the daily routes. For optimizing the daily routes, the right data sources needs to be available so that it can really be optimized due to your needs. I hope this answered the questions in general. Otherwise, let me know and please leave a note in the chat. Are there any additional questions you would like to have answered? If that's not the case, then thank you very much for joining. We will send out the handover via mail to you. And if you had feedback, please reply to that mail. If you have improvements for the webinar, please let us know. And thank you very much and hope we see each other or see you again in one of the next webinars upcoming soon. Thank you and enjoy your evening.